come up and visit? There he is. Good morning, Janine. Good morning, Darth. He likes the brush. It's your favorite time of the week, isn't it? Live stream time. That's when the kitty treats and all the pets come, right? Yeah. Water's still a little frozen. It was a long week this week, so that means I'm going into my long weekend. That's always nice. 4-day weekend. And of course, we're gearing up for another maintenance interval in about a month at work. So, got to start preparing for that. Of course, Darth. Of course, you know the answer to that. Actually, I'm going to start with the littlest things here first, because the two first things I'm going to show you are actually gifts for me from Gallery 11. And that's one of them. I know that doesn't look like much, but that's a ruby. And so, I've been telling Kara I like, gemstones and stuff like that, and just raw gemstones. So that's a ruby. And of course, I like one of the reasons I like rubies is because they do great things under a black light. They glow red. I don't know if you can even see it, but they look really nice under a black light. So I really like that. This is also a ruby, kind of in a raw form. And I think you'll be able to see that one go a little bit under the black light because that's maybe a little bit more viewable here. You can kind of see what's going on there. So those look really nice. And like I said, both of those were gifts from Gallery 11. They just, they're little like $3 or $4 items that they gave me. But this is a thing that I got that I'm most excited about. This is currently the most expensive single piece I own. And look at that. That's a 55 karat opal. Look at the fire on that. Don't even want to tell you what I paid for that. But I've loved, once again, this is more into my gemstone thing. I've got, got a few things. I got a couple of garnets. I got a handful of rubies. I got a few opals, but nothing like that. Look at that. I mean, that'd be like an awesome pendant or something, right? Camera isn't even doing a good job of this. Like I said, I've always loved opals. Opals are awesome. Yeah, no, I'm not going to say what that one costs. That one costs a lot. Pound for pound, my most expensive piece now, but and it was more than twice what I planned on spending that day. Almost three times what I planned spending that day. She has another one too that's really beautiful, and I might have to get that one too. My water's frozen, so it's going to take it a minute for before I can actually drink any of it here. Getting a little bit of it that's melting between the glass and the ice. And of course, I'm horrified at the idea that I might be trying to drink it, and all of a sudden the ice is going to break and go all over me. I don't know. Is it treat time? I think you think it's always treat time, isn't it? Yes, it is. It's always treat time. Yeah, you like your treats. Ow! Watch the finger, dude. I need that to feed you treats. You like those, don't you? Okay, that's enough for now. Maybe if you come back a little later, we'll give you some more. Are you a good cat? I would guess so. You probably are. You're not a bad cat. They don't know the real you, do they? It's really hot here. Yeah, we hit 100 for a day or so, but it's been mid to upper 90s for the past several weeks. We had a good storm here. Oh, what about a week ago now? It was nice. It filled up the rain barrel, which is always good. Got about a half an inch, so it wasn't a lot, and it was kind of a gentle rain too. It wasn't one of those where it rained for really hard for like 5 minutes and then it was over. Although I do love it when it does that. The kind of gentle rain over a couple hours is kind of better because more of it soaks into the ground rather than running off. I know there's 12 people in here and only 3 people are talking here. I don't know what that's all about. Yeah, it is good for the garden. The yard definitely liked it. Didn't I post the July 27th? I mean, I know I didn't put last week's up because usually when it's just a live stream that I just let you guys talk. I don't usually post those, but I thought for sure I put the other one up. Bear with me here. I'm going to look. Holy cow, you're right. I didn't put that one up. That's weird. I forgot about that one. Now I haven't had a chance to go look at the ads, and usually when I put them up with, so I just made it live right now. But um, usually when I put them up, when they put their ads in, they put like a ton of ads. So if you go watch it now before I get a chance to go in and remove the ads, um, you're gonna find that there's a lot of them. But I'll go fix that later on. But it's live now. You're right. I don't know how I missed that. Yeah, last week's live. I went to the Comic Con last week, so all I did is I just kind of aimed the camera at my rocks and left it running for like 4 hours, and so you didn't really miss anything except for just whoever was talking that day. Yeah, that's sort of what I think on those. I don't usually make those live. I've done a few of those, but yeah, I don't usually make those live. That's just that's just because there's a lot of people that kind of come here because they're alone and they just want somebody to talk to for a while. It's kind of like coming and visiting family here. So you know, a lot of what goes on these live streams isn't me even talking to you or you talking to me. It's you guys talking to each other. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I heard this morning that Zelensky might be invited too. We do got to figure out how to end that. Yeah, that's sort of it. I am the moderator. Exactly. But like I said, a lot of you guys just talk to each other, and that's cool too. Makes it easy on me, right? There we go. Now we broke through. Now I think I'm a little different from a lot of conservatives. I think we do need to be looking after and doing what we can to help the Ukraine because we promised to. That was part of the deal when the Soviet Union broke up. There were nuclear weapons in the Ukraine, and Ukraine returned those nuclear weapons to Russia under the condition um, that the U.S. and the UN would protect them. And so we have kind of an obligation to do that. No, I'm not interested in Kamala's book. It isn't even her book. I'm sure she didn't write it. Some ghostwriter wrote it for her. Yeah, if that, Darth, you know what it's going to be. It's all going to be about, oh, I was the ideal candidate, and everybody just, it wasn't my fault. It was everybody's fault. But mine. It wasn't that I was an unpopular candidate. And blah 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 blah. Yeah, whatever. Wine, wine, wine. Go tell it to Willie Brown. You probably get an infection, Darth. Yeah, I do hope that they do something with some of these people that were doing all that shady stuff, Janine. Yeah, I hope that, and I hope it goes all the way up to Obama and Hillary. Hey, Susan, good to see you. Susan's been sending me ads about bourbon infused things for the last couple of weeks. I think she mentioned that a couple of weeks ago on the live. I agree with you, Susan. And I think it was maybe a good thing that he didn't get elected last time in 2020, because it gave him time to really sit down and figure out what the problem is, where the problems are, and come up with a game plan. And that's enabled him to hit the ground running. I think if he did get reelected in 2020, he probably wouldn't have had as successful of a presidency, because he wouldn't have had a time to figure out what everything was doing, what everybody was doing, and all the stuff that was like I said, figure out what he was going to do to fix it all. So that's what he spent the last 4 years doing, and I can't wait to see what happens in the next three. Hey, Deborah, how are you? I don't know if you're new. I don't think I've seen your name before. Welcome to the group. Why I don't understand why Jill allows this to go on. I mean, when Ronald Reagan got to the point where he was losing his facilities a little bit, AMC didn't have him out doing talk shows and stuff like that. She helped protect his dignity. I've just never seen somebody who puts herself ahead of her obviously ill husband. Yeah, exactly, Darth. Hello, Gene. Welcome to the party. No, Jill's a narcissist. It's all about her. She loved being treated like royalty. That's what it was all about. Oh, in Texas, our Gavin Newsom is named Beto O'Rourke, aka Francis Robert Francis O'Rourke. But yeah, I'm sure everyone called him Beto when he was a kid. I'm sure his mom did. No, I noticed they posted yesterday on Facebook that the giraffe was out, the baby was out in the pen for the first time yesterday. But I don't think they're ready to have him out entirely yet. Well, the fact that the Democrat Party hasn't learned anything from their shellacking in the last election, uh, it doesn't bode well for them. They're on the wrong side of every 80-20 issue there is. If 80% of America thinks one way, they're on the other side. That's just not a good way to winning a majority. And I like the fact that there's this redistricting thing going on here in Texas. That's a good thing, and that the Democrats have shown themselves for who they are by fleeing the state. That's a good, that's showing who they are, and they're still pushing the AOCs and uh, the Talibs and all the rest of them, all the rest of the crazy squad members. Well, and that's what it tends to happen too, Janine. They start going after their own, and see, that's what I think about all this canceling stuff, canceling people. It's like, you laugh at that now because people you hate are getting what you think they deserve. But one day, someday, you're going to say something just slightly wrong, and they're going to come after you too. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think they're necessarily low IQ. They're just ideologues, and they can't understand how anybody could not agree with them on everything. It ended up in some left wing cause, probably a whole bunch of left wing causes. That's what USAID was about. It was distributing taxpayer money to left wing organizations. That's why they're so hated. That's why they hated Doge so much, because the Doge was uncovering all that. I don't think Pelosi's even in charge anymore. It's a squad that's running things. They're the one pulling the strings. Now they got that Mondami guy in New York. Yeah, we'll just make it look like the White House, and then they can spend the rest of their days pretending that they're relevant. Yeah, right. Doesn't really affect you though, does it? Your life didn't really change that much between Biden and Trump, did it? Or Trump the first time, or Obama? You almost go back to Bush, don't you? Pretty close. It's the only cat I've ever encountered in the world that doesn't have a problem with you handling his feet. No, he doesn't pay any taxes. He's a complete loafer. He's a mooch. Yes, he is. Well, I hear Ken Paxton's looking to indict some of these people. He's going after Beto for funding all their stuff, calling it bribery and stuff like that, kickbacks. I don't know. I think you're fat enough, aren't you? You don't need a job eating kitty treats, do you? Yeah, he's fat enough as it is. Yeah, that's a good thing too, Susan. Is we if you can't vote, you shouldn't be counted in the census because that's basically just giving states that welcome illegal immigration, added citizens and added representation in the government. I mean, I heard a statistic on the radio, on a podcast this morning that says that looking at California, California, 40% of the citizens are Republicans, but but because of the gerrymandering and all that stuff, they only represent 18% of the districts, and a lot of that is because of illegal immigrants, uh, you know, tipping the scales on the census. They're saying a lot of red states like Texas and Florida, um, lost seats that they should have gotten in favor of states like California and New York that are losing population. He's friends with Jerry Maguire. He's a real loser, Darth. Isn't it funny too? When a Democrat does it, it's called redistricting, but when a Republican does it, it's called gerrymandering. She did? Okay, I'm glad. I was kind of surprised she didn't talk to me about it because I've been there a couple times. Do you have a picture of what she did that you could send? I'd like to see it. You could put it on the Facebook page. That'd be great.